Hi everyone, here is Danny. It's nice to have you here on Sunday morning. If you watch me right now when this video is being published, I'm already on my way to the race. I'm starting at 11 o'clock. Just go to sickbiker.com and see the pictures from Instagram. I always put some pictures before and after the race, so it's almost like live. You will see me before and after race. You're more than welcome there. I'm gonna be racing on this tire, which is Schwalbe Racing Ralph, and on this episode I'm gonna compare this tire, I would say cross-country MTB marathon or MTB all-rounder tire, to Maxxis Crossmark, also XC, MTB, whatever tire. This one, years of testing, this one around 7 months of testing. Before we start, some basic info. The width 2.9 on 26-inch wheel on my killer. Here we have 225 on 29er, which is Cannondale FSI. So this is not really a scientific approach, but this is life. We've got different tires, different bikes, and I'm gonna compare these two. I had been testing this on 29ers for maybe 20 or 30 kilometers. I haven't noticed that much of a difference between small and big wheel, but I'm gonna mention that later on. All right, what's most important for me when I'm testing the tire, it's not the, as some guys say, grip and rolling resistance, but how predictable the tire is. So if I know what I can get from the tire, when I brake, when I go up the hill, but mostly when cornering, because that's when we tend to crash, then I'm happy. So both tires are predictable, but there is some difference in the cornering between Crossmark and Racing Ralph. I do love both tires because let's just see at the profile of those. Here we can notice the first difference. When we look from just from the side on those tires, you will see here almost straight line, nice line here. And here you will see knob, nothing, knob, nothing, knob, nothing. So when you ride, you're gonna hear this tire more. This one will be more quiet. And here, many testers would just assume this is better rolling resistance, okay? Or lower rolling resistance. I would say I haven't really noticed the difference. Yes, especially when I'm climbing, we've got here on my testing loop a concrete super steep climb. You can hear these knobs, like, you know, gripping into the ground. This one is more quiet, so it should be better rolling resistance. I haven't noticed that much of a difference, so know that. The knobs are pretty much same height. We've got almost 3 millimeters on the Crossmark and 3 millimeters, I would say, on the Racing Ralphs, exactly. But this one has been ridden a bit more than this one. This one has maybe around 1,000 kilometers. And this, I would say, 200 kilometers. So the central area of the treat, I would say a bit more than 3 millimeters, maybe, for the new tires. On the sides, it will be more. The Crossmark will have, here we have almost 4, and this one will have even more. This one has more than 4 millimeters. So these side knobs on the Schwalbe Racing Ralph are higher. Let's see the tire from different angles. Now this is kind of fun, because when we look at this profile of the two, you will see interesting thing. All right, here we have almost continuous knobs like these, which will leave this nice cross mark on the ground, are connected with 2 little ones, and then so we have big one, 2 little ones, big one, 2 little ones, and here we just have a knob, nothing, 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 knob. But when we look at this profile, you will see that this is like straight line of the center knobs. Then we have pretty huge gap, unlike on the Racing Ralph, which has two other knobs in between, but a bit wider, spaced out from the center. So when you look at this profile here, it looks even better than on this one. So that's interesting. You could get better rolling resistance, in my opinion, if you have over 2 bars of the air pressure on this tire, and if you go on the hardback, I would even say asphalt. But if you go for 1.8, 1.9 of the air pressure, as we usually do as cross-country riders or marathon racers, I'm not pretty sure whether even this one doesn't give you better support, because this profile really looks cool. So this is smart design. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna show you is the side knobs and how are these designed. Let's see at the Crossmark first. Okay, these are the side knobs here. One big one, small one, big one, small one. But what is important here for me, when we start to grasp the ground with the side knobs, so when we are cornering, it's important how flexible these are, and I want to show you that these are really flexible. So the small knobs here, you can just move them around easily. I'm gonna show you, maybe like that. You see, this is super easy to move around. On the loose ground, I would say this will still do the job, but on the hardback, this one flexing so much doesn't do so much of a great job for you. This one, with this cut inside, it will move less, but still you are able to move this tire. Now let's see the Racing Ralph. Here we have different situation. There is huge gap between side knobs comparing to Crossmark, but these are just larger, not higher, but large, a bit higher, but mostly larger, and much more difficult to get them moving. So they are just there if you want to be cornering. My feeling is that I just get a bit more confidence when cornering on the Racing Ralph. Once more, I do love Crossmark. I've been riding this for years, really good tires, but I feel like in the corners I'm getting more support on these knobs, even though they have more spacing in between them. So this is the most noticeable for me difference between Crossmark and Racing Ralph. So it's not that easy to say, oh, here we have just, you know, the central knobs connected, linked to each other, and not really flexy, so we have better rolling resistance. I'm not sure about it, because this profile shows you how nicely this tire will go. You can see, okay, it changes, right? We have 2 knobs, 1 knob, 2 knobs, or actually 4 knobs and 1 knob. Here is just like that. So you have to try it out in the terrain you are riding. But I would say Crossmark, hardback, longer marathons, when you don't need so much grip on the, I would say, roots or some obstacles, because these knobs will be really gripping into the ground, not like these. And one more thing is also that Crossmark, has also these knobs like in the midsection, and these are not symmetrical. So what I do, let's say my wheel is spinning counterclockwise. So this is how I would mount the tire on the front wheel, but on the rear one, some people ask me, Dan, why do you put this one the other way around on the rear wheel? That's because these knobs now will do more job for me if the wheel is spinning like that. Even though the manufacturer says that rotation is just that way for both front and rear, in my opinion, this one is better like that. Okay, a bit more info about both tires. Also important factor for me is how easy you can seal those with the tubeless system. So this one super easy. It always works with different rims. For some rims it may work, for some it may not work so well, but with these C0 carbon rims it was extremely easy. The bead is just inside, it's like really almost like sticks to the rim, so it was super easy to make tubeless system on this one. Crossmark, it was also very easy. This one actually I did with my stationary pump, but only the foldable one. That was front wheel. This is the rear wheel, and this one is wired, and I was not able to seal up this one even with the compressor. So wired tires are just more difficult, but for the foldable, both models work pretty well. Okay, so both are very good. I like both. This is not as loud as the Racing Rough, but I would say Racing Rough is more predictable in the cornering. As for mud, I didn't have problems with any of these tires really. If you see the race from my yesterday's episode, you will see that on the Racing Rough I was going through muds like 30 centimeters deep, like 1 foot deep, and no problem. I didn't even slip the wheel once, so I just liked it. It was just okay. This one, different conditions, like it. So both very good tires. If you have any further experiences with these tires, let us know in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you soon. Bye bye.